Hello guys, my name is Srinivas Rao. I am a Python trainer at 20 years of experience both in project as well as in teaching. So, in previous session we started a new topic called types of variables and methods, and previous session we discussed one of the type is instance variables. Okay. Once again just we will revise what is instance variable. There are two types of variables, one is instance variable and one is class variable. There are two types of variables. Variables number one in object in OOPS Python. Okay. Now, number one is instance variable. This we discussed in previous video session. Instance variables, and in this session we will discussing about the class variable. Class variable. So, before we go for class variable, we discuss class variable again. Once again we will revise what is instance variable. What is instance variable? See here, what is instance variable? How to create instance variable? We discussed in the previous video session how to modify values of instance variables and what are the ways to access instance variable. Okay. If the value of variable varies from object to object, then such variables are called instance variable. A variable varies from object to the value of the variable varies from object to object, then such variables are called instance variable. Example, I will write one program. I will learn one program. There are two types of variables, one is instance variable and one is class variable. So, I will create one program. For example, class student, we will take same example class student. Okay, and first we will define one method called underscore init underscore self, and here I will declare instance variables, for example RNO, next name of the student, next age of the student. Okay, right. Now I will initialize how? By using current object self is nothing but memory reference of the current object. Current object RNO equals to the instance variable. Same way current object name equals to instance variable name. Next current object age equals to age right. Now I will display, I will use the show method this time, show student. I create a method called show student and in brackets self is nothing but memory reference of the current object. This method will display details of current objects details. Okay. So, for example, I want to print a roll number. So, I print one string called a roll number, this string colon comma the variable, the value of the value of the variable, that is self dot RNO. Same way I want to print the name. So, I will say print name of the student, name comma self dot name. Okay. Same way print age, it will print string and I want to print the value of that variable. So, current objects age, done. So, these three are called instance variable. For every object, okay, the value of this variable is changing or varying. Okay. So, I will come here, I will create three objects, for example, obj1 class name, and for example 100 is a roll number. Okay. For example, Rohit comma 21, right. First object roll number is 100, second object first object's name is Rohit, first object's age is 21. Now, I will create one more object. See here, now I want to create second object, now I will give as 101, second student roll number is 101 and he will give a, for example, Ajay and he will give some 22. So, if the value of a variable varies from object to object, then such variables are called instance variables. So, these are all instance variables. Why these are instance variables? Because for every object the values are changing. This we discussed in previous video session. Now, there is another type called class variables. Now, what are class variables? What are class, we will discuss about class variables now. So, what is class variable? What is class variable in Python? How to create class variable, how to access class variables, how to modify class variables, what is the difference between class variable and instance variables. This we will discuss in this session. So, class variable, if the value of a variable is not varying, what is instance variable? It is varying for every object, the values are changing or varying, but here in case of class variable it will not change, class will remain constant for all the objects. For all the objects the value will be same, it will not be changing. Okay. If the value of a variable is not varied or changing from object to object, such type of variables are called class variables, or you can say static variables. Class variables are shared, and this the value of class will be is shared for all the objects, is shared for all the objects. Unlike instance variable, the value of class variable is not varied from object to object, but class variables are not varied from object to object and they are shared for all the objects. The same value will be shared for all the objects. In Python, class variables are declared when the class is being constructed. Before the init method, we have to declare this class variables. I will show you. They are not defined inside any methods, it is always outside the methods. They are not defined inside any methods of class, because of this only one copy of the class will be created and is shared between all the objects of the class. We will create only one copy, and that copy we will share to all the objects. Okay? Right. Example, we will take one real time example. For example, in student class we can have different instance variables, such as, see, we have suppose 100 students, I have to create 100 objects, and for 100 objects the value of roll number, the value of name, the value of age will be differed, it is varied. But for all the students only one school name, there will be only one school. So, what we will do, we will create one class variable for this school name of type class variable, okay, of class variable. We will create a class variable, and the example is what? School name. School name will take as class variable. Why? Because this school name is shared for all the objects, all the students. So, in student class we can have different instance variables such as name and roll number, because of each student name and roll number is different. But if you want to include the school name of in the student class, we must use the class variable instead of instance variable, as the school name is same for all the students. So, instead of maintaining the separate copy in each object, what we can do, we create a class variable and that will hold the school name. So, all the students, all the objects can share this class variable. We can add n number of class variables in a class. Okay. So, what I will do here, we will take a same example, but this time we will create one class variable. Where we create class variables? Class variables are created after the class definition, before the constructor. Before the constructor. So, I will say school name, I am declaring, I am creating one school underscore name. School underscore name equals to, for example, Delhi Public School. Delhi Public School. So, this is class variable. Now, this variable, the value of this variable is shared for all the objects. For example, if there are 100 students, okay, we will share this same school, this variable name for all the objects, okay. That is the concept of class variable. So, all objects share a single copy of class variable. So, this ABC school is shared by Emma student and Jessa student. Now, using this class we create two objects. So, what we will do here, we will print the class variable name, we will print the class variable now. So, how to print this? So, I will say here, for example, I want to display first student object, first student details. So, if you want to print first student, I will say obj1 dot show method, show student. Now, this will display roll number, name and age. Yes. So, even I want to include school name also. So, I will say here in show method, print school name colon comma, I can access by using class name. So, see here class name dot class variable name school name. Now, what do you, I will execute this. When I execute this, see here 100, the roll number is 100, name is Rohit, age is 21 and school name is Delhi Public School. I want to display Ajay details now. Ajay details. So, obj2 dot show method, show student. Now, please here, see school name, it is not, it is a shade for all the objects. See 100, Rohit, no, 21, these are instance variables. Every object it is varying. For second object is 101, Ajay and 20, but this is class variable, it is not changing, it is not varying. It is shared for all the objects. See, Rohit is studying in Delhi Public School and even Ajay also studying in Delhi Public School. So, if the value is common, what we will do? We will declare as class variables. So, like this we can access by using this. See here line number 14, class name dot school name. So, like this we can access class variables, right. We can access class variables or static variables either by class name or by object reference, but it is recommended to use class names. So, that is the reason I use this class name here. Class name is student and the class variable name is school name. So, that is preferred, it is recommended, but it is recommended to use the class name. Even we can access by using object also, but recommended thing is what? By using this class name. So, in Python we can access the class variable by following places: inside the constructor also, by either by self parameter or class name, access class variable inside the instance method or by using itself or class name, access from outside the class either by using object reference or class name. See, this class name we can access anywhere, this class name, this school name we can access anywhere, this class variable either in the constructor here or in the show method or outside this one. For example, I'll remove this. I'll remove from this show method. I'll remove this. I want to print. So, I'll come here. I'll say print school dot student name. Print school dot student name 2 times. Same thing here. See, either we can access inside the normal method or in outside the method. We can access this class variables. Right. See here in constructor also we accessed here init method. We can access even in constructor also, or normal method, show method, or outside the method. In 3 areas we can access this class variable by class name or object reference name or object name. So, how to modify? Generally we assign value to class variable inside the class declaration. However, we can change the value of the class variable either in the class or outside the class. We should change the class variable using class name only. We should change the class variable by using class name only. I want to modify now. See what happens now. Now what we will do? Now what I do? I want to modify. Okay. Here I will come school name. I will declare again school name student dot school name equals to, now this time I will give ABC public school, school. Now I modified. Earlier these students Rohit and Ajay were studying in this Delhi public school. Now at line number 26 we change from Delhi public school to ABC public school. So again what I will do? Again I will display this one. Okay. Print, I will draw one line. After modification of the class, variable, okay. Then again I will print obj1 dot show student, and also I want to print the school name. Okay. So, school name equals to comma student dot class variable, that is school name. Now we will see after modification what is the class name. Before it was Delhi public school. Okay. Before modification it was Delhi public school. So, here this is old details 101 Ajay 22 Delhi public school. After modification of the class variable, and now the school has changed to ABC Public School, ABC Public School. Right, we understand how to modify the class variable name. Now, we will see the difference between class variable and instance variable. We understand concept of class variable and also we understand the concept of class variables. We will see the difference now. Instance variable are not shared, instance variables are not shared. Every object has separate copy, own copy of the instance variable. For example, for a first student, the name is Rohit, for second student the name is Ajay. So every object has its own copy, and class variables are shared for all the instances. Example, school name, Delhi Public School. Now, all students, all the objects belongs to only one class, one school, it is Delhi Public School. Second difference, instance variables are declared inside the constructor init method. Normally we declare this instance variable where init method. Example, roll number, name and age. Where we declared in constructor. Now, where to declare this class variables? Where we will declare class variable? Class variable will declare before the constructor, after the class definition. After the class definition, we will declare this class variable before the init method constructor. Now, third difference, see this class instance variables gets created when the instance of the class is created, when the object is created, this instance variable created. Now, when class variables are created, it is created when the program begins to execute. Now, the fourth difference, changes made to these variables through one object will not reflect in another object. For example, I want to change first student age from 21 to 22. So, it will reflect only in the first object and it will not reflect in second or third object, it is not shared. Whereas, class variables are shared for all the objects. If you make changes in class variable, it will reflect in all the objects. So, changes made in the class variable will reflect in all the objects. So, this is the difference between instance variable and class variables. Okay. Now we will discuss about methods and what are the different methods are there in object oriented program. There are three types of methods. There are three types of methods in object oriented programming. Okay. Number 1, instance method. Number 1 is instance method, and number 2 is number 1 is instance method, and second one is class method, and third one is static method. So, there are three types of method, one is instance method, class method and static method. So, we will start with instance method. Okay. Number 1, instance method. So, in this session we will discuss what are instance methods in Python, how to define instance method, how to call an instance method, how to modify instance variables inside the instance method, and how to create instance variable in inside method. Even we can create instance variable. See, until now we have created instance variable where in the constructor, but we can also create instance variable in instance method. So, see here what is instance method in Python. If you use instance variables inside a method, then that type of method is called instance method. If you use instance variables inside the method, if you access any instance variable inside the method, then such type of methods are called instance method. The instance method performs set of actions on the data or value provided by the instance variables. An instance method is bound to the object of the class. You can access or modify the object state by changing the value of the instance variable. When we create a class in Python, instance and methods are used regularly. To work with instance method, we use self variable, and you know what is self variable? Self variable is nothing but memory reference of the current object. We use self variable as a first parameter to the method, the self refers to the current object. Now, we understand what is current object. Any method we create in class will automatically be created as an instance method unless we explicitly tell Python it is a class method or static method. By default, when you define any method, it takes as a instance method. Why? Because the first parameter is self parameter. When a method has self parameter, then it is nothing but instance method. Okay. So, example see here, for example, in this class, in this student class, the first one is constructor, def underscore underscore int is what? Is a constructor. So, I will remove this school name, I will remove this name. So, here we have two methods, one is constructor method and one is normal show method. See, this show method is called instance method. Why this show student is called instance method? First thing, it has self parameter, it is nothing but memory reference of the current object, and this method is accessing this instance variable. See, these three are instance variable, correct? This roll number, name, age are instance variable. So, it is accessing self dot roll number in this method, self dot name in this method, self dot age in this method. So, this method is called instance method. This method is called instance method. Any method we create class will automatically pre-create as instance unless we explicitly that it is a class method or static method. Instance variable are not shared between objects. We know instead every object is one copy. This we discussed. Just a minute. Yes. Now, we understand how to define one instance method. Okay, this is a way to define an instance method. Okay, method name in brackets self variable name, and I want to access roll number, name and age. So, we access by using self dot roll number, name, age. So, this method is defined. So, this method is called one instance method. This method is called instance method. Now, you know the reason why it is instance method. Number one, self variable, first variable self variable, and then it is accessing all the instance variables. These three are instance variable. So, this method is called instance method, right? Chalo. Now, how to call this instance method? Instance method are called explicitly. We have to call explicitly. So, we can use object and dot operator to execute the block of code or action defined in the instance method. Okay. For example, I want to call instance method. So, I will say object name obj. I am creating one object obj equals to class name student, and we have to pass 3 arguments. Why we have to pass 3 arguments? Because here there are 3 instance variables here. We declared 3 instance variables in the init method constructor. So, that is the reason we have to pass the arguments here. For example, 999 is a roll number, name is Ajay for example, and age is 21, right. Object is created. Now, I want to call the method. So, to call the method, object name, the syntax is object name dot instance method name. What is the syntax to call the instance method? So, to call instance method, object name dot notation and instance method name, bracket open, bracket close, right. So, I will call this method how? By using object dot obj1 dot, and the method is what? Show method. Show student method is instance method. Press this and run this. When you run this, it will call this method. Which method? It will call this show students method and display roll number, name and age. So, this is a way to create instance method, right. Inside any instance method, we can also use self to access any data or method that is set in your class. We can't unable to access without any self parameter. An instance method can freely access attributes and even modify the value of attributes of an attribute by using self. By using self dot underscore class attribute, we can access the class attributes and change the class state. Therefore, instance method give us control on changing the object as well as class state. How to modify? Now, we will discuss how to modify instance variable in instance method. Okay. For example, now I want to modify age of the Ajay. Now, Ajay turns up to 22. I want to modify this. So, what I will do here? Here I will create one method called def update age. update age, update age, and here what I will do, here in update age I will create one parameter called roll number, roll number. I declare one instance variable called roll number. So, self dot RNO equals to roll number, roll number. So, first I create this object, okay. Then what I will do, then I will display the details by using this object 1 dot show student. Now, this will display the old details, that is Ajay, that is 999, Ajay and 21 and 21. Yes. Now, Ajay has turned to 22. So, I have to call this update age method. So, I will say update age, object name, first object name dot update age method, and it pass argument, sorry, it is not roll number, it is what I will do, we will say age, sorry, not roll number, we are updating age. So, not roll number, here I will say self dot age equals to age, because I want to update age, not roll number. Okay. Update age. So, I will say dot update age, and here I will pass 22, because it turned to 22 now. Now, this line number 21 will display the old details, and line number 23 it will display with updated details. So, obj1 dot display now, again show student. See here line number 20 we create the object, and the initial values are what 999, Ajay and 21. Then I display these details, this details. Okay. See here 999, Ajay 21, and line number 22 update 21 with 22, and again I am displaying the show students. So, now please see the details of this one, old details and new details. These are old details and these are new details. Okay. So, like this we can update the instance variable. Okay. We update the instance or age, instance variable age. Till now we used constructor to create instance attributes or variables, but instance attributes or variables not only specific to init method, they can also defined elsewhere in the class. So, we will create one instance variable inside the instance method. For example, now what I do, until now what we did, we used constructor to declare variables, but this time what I do, now I will remove this everything, I will remove everything. So, I want to create one more variable. See here in instance variable we declared roll number, name and age. Not only this, even I want to create one method, I will create one method called add marks. It is a method, it is a instance method. Why? Because it has self variable, and here I will declare what marks, self comma marks. I declared one attribute instance variable called marks. So, self dot marks equals to self dot marks equals to marks. Right. Now, what I will do, first I will create the object obj1 equals to class name is student, okay, and I will pass 3 arguments. Why? Because in the constructor there are 3 variables declared. So, here I will say 100, name is Sachin, okay, and age is 21 and age is 21. After that I want to add marks, So, obj1 first I will I want to add this marks also. So, obj1 dot add marks, and I will say suppose example 600 marks, Sachin got 600 marks, okay. Then later what I will do, I will print, okay. So, here I will add the marks and also I will print this marks. So, print marks colon self dot marks. Yes. Now, I will display, okay. I will display. So, obj1 dot display dot show student, not display show student. So, it will display first marks it displayed, okay, then roll number Sachin and 21 and 21. So, now what I will do, I want to print outside this one. So, control X, I will come here and I will print this here. Student dot 1 minute, just a minute. Here only I will print, the marks equal to self dot marks, right. I will run this 600 marks 600, roll number is 100, name is Sachin and age is 21. So, even we can create instance variable, not only the constructor, even we create an instance variable, example add marks. Add marks is one instance method, and here I created what marks variable, right. So, we understand what is instance variable and instance method. So, we discuss instance method. In the next video session, we will be discussing about the class method and static method. If you like this video, please click on like button and share our channel. Thank you very much.